Still loading. Come on. I just hate that. Okay, we are back. We've been having some technical difficulties over here with the internet, but looks like we're back. Everybody, welcome back to the show. Obviously, new season. We had our first show last week talking about the build up to the Champions League, and we're back again. The first round has been played. I've got my special guest here, Eze, in the building. Going to be talking Chelsea's performance last night, as well as just the Champions League so far, and also a little bit about the EPL as well, because it's been a while, man, since we've talked, Eze. So how have you been? How's Toronto, by the way? I know you moved to Toronto recently. How's things going on your end?
Toronto's sick.
Can you hear me?
Honestly, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Oh, I don't think you can hear me. Oh no. This isn't good. This must be me at this point. Can you hear me now? Hey, Josh. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Give that a shot.
I'll just see if I can just go on my phone here.
Okay, no problem. Peace.
I just have both on.
Easy.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I haven't seen you smile like this since this time last year, man.
You're a funny guy. Listen, there's a lot to smile about, you know? A lot to
A
smile
lot to smile about. Yeah. Really, like all over Europe, there's a lot to smile about. PSG look as garbage as we'd hoped they would be.
Yeah, no,
As
1-1.
broken.
Wild.
To be honest, though, we still haven't seen all three of them finish a game together.
Well, that's true. So I actually didn't watch this game. I was working.
Don't worry, I was too busy as well.
Yeah. What was the score of that game? Let me see.
1-0, man. Camavinga with the assist to Rodrigo. The young kids are coming, man.
Young Camavinga. And who'd you guys play?
Inter.
Well, that's a good win.
Yeah, Inzaghi's Inter. Yeah, it was compared to Club Brugge.
Yeah, that's not really a thing. That's really surprising. We almost lost to Zenit. Like it was almost a draw to Zenit.
I mean, I wouldn't say you almost lost to Zenit. I think the issue is Tuchel's teams don't score a lot.
Listen, man,
and it's starting to be seen because that's why PSG, all that firepower, they still couldn't do what they could before he left.
Champions League final though, when he was coaching them as well too. And then again, won it with us the following year. We got Thiago. Yeah, we're set up more so defensively, like resolute. You know, with that three back with the wing backs. But I think we were on a lot of occasions we were one pass away from having like a really good opportunity to score.
Yeah,
and it's just I think it'll take a little bit more time. And then Mount was a little bit off this game too. That was not.
Mount has been off. Really, he's been off since the Euros. He hasn't been as sharp
either. Yeah, the Euros aren't good for him either. That's a good point. I didn't really think about it. Normally, he's so consistent. To be honest, you know. Can you hear me on time, or am I like lagging? Okay, this is definitely me then. What's going on? Can you hear me?
Man. Yeah. I lost you for a second there.
Okay, this is definitely me.
No, I can hear you now.
You hear me now? Is it spotty at all? Is it spotty at all, or is it delayed?
No, it was me. My Bluetooth just connected to my phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's why I was like, "Yo, give me a second."
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I was talking to Josh before we came on, and he was having some internet problems. So I thought it was.
Yeah, he just messaged said his internet is awful.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, man. It was wild.
Yeah, that's the we had this ridiculous storm yesterday. I think in the evening, and I don't know if it was like a thunderstorm, like lightning, thunder. Like I was out here after, so I played soccer like 9:40 to like around 11. I got home. Thunderstorm. I was standing out here, and the lightning I just saw it in my periphery, and then, like. Boom, man! I'm not kidding. I've not been closer to wetting my pants since I was like 4 years old, bro.
That's scary, man.
It was brutal. So I don't know if the systems are all a little bit messed up. Yeah.
Well, I was talking. He moved from upstairs. He was upstairs, and he was downstairs. And I think he's in the kitchen. So he's trying to get it all different spots.
He's trying to, soon as he's gonna be on the top of his Civic.
Yeah, I wish with like with a coil, like a tinfoil thing.
Yeah, with the tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
like, channel it.
Catch something.
Oh man, that's jokes. But I forgot what we were talking about. But the situation with Chelsea, being able to score, I think, is also a key aspect of Conte not being there. Conte being injured is really hurting you guys because Jorginho is good, but he needs a Conte beside him. Kovacic is okay, but he needs a Conte beside him.
Have you seen Kovacic games?
Have I seen what?
Kovacic's last 2 games, he's been a baller, man.
Kovacic does well when he has a chip on his shoulder. When Saul came in, he turned it up because he's like, oh man, now I got to play for my spot.
Yeah.
So that was, I think Saul was a ridiculous acquisition, to be very honest. I didn't agree, or I didn't see the reasons why you would have grabbed Saul of all the coming, especially with Camavinga looking to be plucked. It's waiting to be plucked.
To be honest with the whole, so I'm not going to pretend like I watched a lot of Atletico Madrid and I know exactly what he's about.
Oh, okay.
that first game was awful. That's one of the worst like debuts I've seen in a long time since like maybe Morata or Fernando Torres. It was a lot. It was a really
yeah, Morata.
Morata. Don't forget about Morata, man. Yeah, it was very good. And knowing that Camavinga went for what, 20-something, 30 million?
Man, it was peanuts.
I think Camavinga, he had his heart set on Madrid. I don't think anybody would have changed his mind.
I think Madrid or PSG, but I think if Tuchel would have went in on him, having won the Champions League, looking solid, like a lot of young players. He just brought in Lukaku. I think he would have been like, you know what? He's what, like 20? He'd be like, yo, I'll come in there. I'll sign a three-year contract, ability to sign for a fourth, and then he can leave to Madrid when he's in his prime.
That's what they always try to do that to me again, eh? Never. Never.
Oh man!
Honestly, Eden Hazard was one of my favorite. Actually, not one of them. He's my favorite player of all time. I think he's like when you watched Eden when he was playing for Chelsea. Every time he got the ball, you had to get up because he was doing something like incredible or attempted something incredible. Yeah. And when he left, it hurt like a lot. I haven't experienced
it hurt us too.
You guys thought you were getting something, and it turned into something else. And honestly, like you tell me, you watch a lot more than Madrid games, but I feel like it's just the injuries. I feel like he's the player's still there somewhere, but if you can get a good run of like healthy form, it could be different. What do you think?
I agree. The injuries aren't helping. It's the same Bale situation. He just can't get fit. The difference between him and Bale was always glass. He always had issues with his hamstring and his calves, even before we acquired him.
Yeah.
Now Hazard he's had more injuries in his 3 years with Madrid than he's had in his whole career at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think it was his fault though. He came into
overweight.
He came in overweight. Josh, let Kelza in, eh? He came in overweight. Like you could see him in his gray suit.
Yeah, I know it looked heavy.
And then like he was jogging the ball, and I was like, "Yo, you're wearing like a size like XL, man. I don't even wear it now." Like I couldn't. And then so obviously, how do you expect? Because now you're trying to lean out, right? While you're trying, and then you're gonna go and play because you're trying to obviously you're gonna trying to get match fit as well in training. He needed to, and then it's crazy to me because like he came for the pictures and everything. Then he was off for like a month because the Euros were pushed. And then what? He came back and he was still chubby. And I'm like, man, you should have put in the look at Neymar. Everybody's talking garbage about Neymar. Dude's got full six-pack at the international break.
Yeah.
Right? So it was his fault. He was caught up in living his dream. And he underestimated his youthfulness. He overestimated his youthfulness because he was past his youthful prime.
I think so too. Yeah, I think like I know for me, when I was in, let's say, grade 10, I could eat whatever I wanted. I still look the same. So, as soon as you graduate university, you have one Big Mac, all of a sudden you're bloated for a couple of days.
Oh, you're fully bloated.
It gets worse, man. It gets worse. Once you hit that 30 mark, you stub your toe. It takes like I should be good in 2 days. 3 days later, I'm like, is that the same toe? So watch out.
My dad used to do this thing where when he's like lying down and drinking a beer, he'd rest the beer on his stomach. That's how round, that the belly got. He gives a rest on his stomach. I can't get there. I can't do it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That's what we're trying to live against. Yeah. We're trying to live against our what will most likely happen.
Yeah, not really. But we'll fight it.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about Chelsea and Eze was dropping knowledge. Let me put it this way: Eze was talking about how he loves Eden Hazard more than any player, and so he was asking the question about what the problem with Hazard is. Is it his injuries or is it something else? So I gave him my take, Kels, as a fellow Madrid fan. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I could hear the conversation. I just couldn't participate, and I agree. I agree with everything you said. Essentially, he overestimated his. He just. I feel like I don't want to repeat exactly what you said, but I completely agree with that analysis. Deep down, and I feel like this season he's coming closer to his old best. more so for Belgium, because in the friendlies he's been active and moving around. I think now there's pressure on Madrid, so it's like there's pressure on him. So he maybe tries to do too much, but he just needs to get enough games in where he can turn his brain off and just play. But I do think there is some semblance of a player. Now I don't think it's going to be like a Ronaldo who can completely reinvent himself, because his main thing is like his quick burst, right? The low center of gravity, quick burst, and ability to change directions very quickly. And like once you lose that once you hit 30, which is when we bought him. And I don't know what else he can really do besides if he can't beat a player and score. I don't know what it. I don't know. This might be another Bale situation. But like at least he's not moody. The problem with Bale is that he's moody.
Straight up.
Yeah, so that's my point of view on Hazard. I want to talk about this Chelsea. Is a Chelsea fan though, right?
Of course.
How's life? Must be nice.
I was saying before, like it couldn't be better for me right now, man. Like,
Yeah, that's not a filter. That's actually his face smiling.
I can't. Now, first of all, I haven't been on for a little bit, so I'll just circle back. That Champions League final, what a game, what a performance. What a performance. Every single player on that team, 10 out of 10. Every single one. Thiago Silva goes down, you bring in Christensen, 10 out of 10 for Christensen as well, too. What a fantastic finish by Havertz. What a player. Future Ballon d'Or winner, by the way. You heard it here first. What a freaking player. Depth touch over the top. City, it wasn't just the fact that Pep set up his team a certain type of way. We would have beat them no matter what. We beat them 3 times in a row, right? One in the FA Cup, one in the league, and one in the Champions League. We were by far the better team. And to make it matters even better, we signed the best striker in the entire world.
Yo, sorry. You had me, and then you went and talked nonsense. Top three, I would have let it slide. The best? Oh my gosh. That's
I'm rocking with it. Lukaku is the best striker in the world.
Based on current form, you would have to agree with them, no? Like
Haaland, based on current form, is the best striker.
Okay, but Haaland is not
Come on
the market.
Come on.
It's not reachable.
Yeah.
No, he's not reachable, but we're just talking about regardless of ability to move to obviously a legit team. Sorry, Dortmund fans. I don't think anybody comes as close to Haaland. Anybody comes close to Haaland other than Lukaku in form right now.
At the moment, yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah,
I feel like Lukaku was the perfect.
That's history.
I feel like, well, maybe Lewandowski, but again, that's signing like you're signing the past, even though he's still good. Past. But it's like that's not what you want. But based on how Chelsea plays, I feel like they signed the best striker for their system. Like,
yeah, 100%. I do agree with that.
Although they did try to sign Haaland for like a lot of money, and
they tried, man. Yeah. Try to pull that PSG card, and Dortmund's like.
Yeah. Guys, Josh, I'm sorry, bro. I gotta bounce. I gotta head back downtown Toronto.
No worries, man. Ezzy, that's why I was trying to get Chelsea first, just so that you could talk on it. And
I gotta sprinkle a little bit of my Chelsea, quotables. Go ahead and put that on Twitter. Post it on your Instagram. You're heading here first, guys. No worries.
Yo, did you say you're gonna go back down to downtown Toronto?
Yeah, I'm actually.
Yeah, man, he's downtown now.
Yeah, were you in Texas last time?
Yeah, weren't you in Texas?
No, it's St. Catherine's or Niagara Falls.
That was Niagara Falls.
Oh, no, that was your other boy. That was your Man U boy.
That's my other boy, yeah.
Are you in Toronto too?
Yeah,
we're all in Toronto.
Oh, get the
well, not all of us.
Okay, yo, we gotta link up, watch a game.
Yeah,
sure,
definitely. Yo, do you play footy?
Something.
Huh?
Do you play soccer?
I do, but I'm not good.
Okay. Well, I'll get your information because we'll watch a game, and if you need a sub, I'll invite you to footy.
All right, bet, guys. Good to see you guys again. Eh?
All right. Respect.
Sorry, guys. My internet has been acting up all day. Like I don't know what's going on. It just chooses to act up whenever it's time to record. But yeah, man. So I know you guys were having a great conversation already, and yeah. I don't even know where to go from this. What did you guys talk about? Because I kind of missed the entire show.
We were just talking about Chelsea. Really, I was giving Isaiah props for Chelsea, and I apologize because as I've been doing for the last little bit about my talking smack about Tuchel and Chelsea. So I think I've apologized to everybody. No more apologies for Chelsea fans or Tuchel fans. But yeah, and then we talked about Hazard at Madrid. And we talked about how the Wonder Kids, which is probably we didn't really elaborate on this. Probably we could dive in a little bit deeper. How the Wonder Kids are showing the likes of PSG, that you can't sign right now. The way soccer is transitioning, you can't sign the present because the present is going to be the past by the end of the season. You got to sign the future. Today Bellingham in Dortmund had a goal and assist. Right, Haaland another goal. Of course, did we expect less? You had Musiala doing insane things with Bayern Munich. Kels called it out on the chat.
Yeah, he was actually solid yesterday.
Rodrigo. So like it's just the Wonder Kids. I think they're really showing, and I guess let me ask you this then, Josh, because United looked like they were going that route, and now they sort of, you signed.
Okay, Jeff. Let's save the United talk for later. Let's save that for the end. I want you guys to have your show first, and then if there's still time, we can talk about United.
If there's still time,
I don't want to monopolize this whole segment for United because you know how I get on that. So
then, okay. How about a different question?
Press down.
Go ahead, Josh.
Sure, you can ask that question, but I didn't even watch the games today because I was at work. So
what about yesterday? Did you watch yesterday?
I watched the games. Yes, I watched obviously United, and I watched the Bayern and
the Bayern Barca game.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys you guys run the show, man.
Let's talk about yesterday because I think there were some key things to talk about yesterday, particularly outside of United, particularly how Barcelona is a skeleton of its once former self. And I don't really remember if there were any other big teams that played yesterday, or any top 5 teams that played yesterday.
Chelsea, that was it.
Chelsea, right. Yeah. But again, that was another thing we're talking about as it was at Chelsea 1-0. So he said that, Zenit could have beat them. And I told him, I said, the only thing I can call Chelsea out for, this current Chelsea out for, is they don't score enough. They get a lot of chances, and they're always that one pass away. And I agreed. That's why I agreed with Kelechi. Lukaku was the best striker they could sign for them because he gives them that extra connection. And when they play the ball to his feet,
he's on the weekend. It's 2 shots, 2 goals. Literally, like 2 shots, 2 goals. It's like he just hangs out his energy, and then now he's matured and knows when to pick his moments. Because they're not a team that it's not even like they create a lot. It's just they just have a lot of the ball. But what they're really good at is shutting. They are difficult to score on.
Yeah.
And I keep watching them, and I haven't figured out what they're doing exceptionally that makes them difficult to score on. But they just keep them clean. But a lot of people, City presses off the ball. They took 4 goals today.
But City high presses off the ball. Tuchel does not high press. He presses off the ball in your wings, and he just blocks you. And then in the middle, you have Conte just stopping everything. That's the only issue with yesterday's game that I thought Zenit had an ability because they didn't have that Conte there to really just shut shit down and help Jorginho and Kovacic.
What throws me off with Chelsea is from the 6. If we go back to conventional soccer numbers, from the 6 down. In my opinion, the only exceptional player on that squad from the 6 down is really on the squad. So 6 down is Reece James, and he's he's more of a future talent that I've just been raving about him for a while now.
So you think he's the most talented player on Chelsea?
I think, but if you remove Lukaku and Havertz, I think Reece James is 100%. Their biggest asset. Mason Mount, I feel like he's good. But because he's British, he seems better than he is. But I feel like Reece James is a gem. If I was a manager he's not going to come to Madrid because English players don't come to Madrid unless you're David Beckham. But if I was a manager on any team, like that's the player I'd be trying to get. And he's just nuts. He's so complete. It's ridiculous.
I would
in my
agree with
opinion.
that. 100%. And I hear you say you won't come to Madrid because British players will come to Madrid. I'm just saying, man. He might not be getting the love he wants.
Yeah, I think it all depends. It all depends on how long Tuchel stays for. I think because don't get it twisted. I think
British players. What's the last British player that went to Spain? What's the last British actual baller that went to Spain since Beckham?
Actual baller, but who's the last baller and who's the last English baller? Who's the latest?
There's so many.
There's so many.
Not up and coming wonder kids, right? Because Reece James is
Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, like go through the entire history of soccer.
But they finished, agreed. They finished in the clubs that they were at. You're right. Yeah.
They don't leave England, even if they don't leave England.
So that's a different generation, though.
Okay, well, we'll see. I guess it's a new
generation.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, the new generation, because you look at the likes of your Sanchos, your Bellingham, all these guys that have moved and are doing bits. I think Reece James right now, he has a good position in Chelsea. I feel if Tuchel was to leave and maybe the team kind of, was no longer as strong as what they are right now, then he might decide. If Real Madrid came calling and offered him a good check,
Before Real Madrid can come, so the appeal about Real Madrid and Barcelona or teams outside England is people go there because they are fans, it's a childhood thing, right?
Yeah.
The issue with the English players is that the English teams are always going to be able to offer more with less change for the English players.
Yeah.
Right? You have to intrinsically want to go. Like Beckham was leaving United. He was at the time he was not going to go anywhere else in England. He couldn't go anywhere else in England. He was from United.
Arsenal was the option. Yeah.
Well, he couldn't go to Arsenal.
Exactly.
That's that Figo. It's like if Figo was. It's like if Messi went to Madrid. Would be like if Beckham went to Arsenal, right? That's not an option. And so he went to Madrid because it was like, okay, outside of here, what's the biggest next thing? But I feel like the Bellinghams and the Sanchos, their situation is different because they just wanted, it's like Pogba if he were British. They just wanted playing time. They were just like, no, I'm good enough to play now. And if you tell me I can't play now here, I will go anywhere else. These guys are coming up outside young. And they're all filtering back into the EPL at the end of the day. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Reece James is an option for any team else. I think he's just if he's gonna leave, he's gonna go to whatever team is banging for number one at that point in England, and just move around that way if he does. But I don't see him leaving. Like, English players don't leave the league if they can start on an EPL competitive team in the league.
100% agree. I will agree with that.
Yeah. And you know what? To be fair, with just looking at the whole, this season, especially with the transfers in the EPL, I think right now, on the last show that we had, it was on Ayo's show, Footy Fantasy. They brought a Spanish supporter, and he's a Real Madrid fan as well. And he talked about how he's like, I gotta give it to the EPL right now. That's the league to watch at this current
100%.
moment. It's just
100%.
The money is just stupid in there, and you look at the stars. It doesn't mean that it's the best league, like from a technical perspective. It's just a league that, even if you're not a fan, if you want to watch football, that's literally the go-to league right now for a lot of football fans. So I think, I do understand. So now it's actually even a harder pull right now for Real Madrid and Barcelona to pull English players, because they're looking at, I could go to 5 different clubs. I
don't think, Josh, I think the EPL for sure is I would even say this is the first time I'm ever going to say this. Not the first time in a long time, but I feel like the EPL right now, like soccer happens in waves, right? And like Madrid and Barcelona are clearly you can't dominate for a decade. You can't dominate forever in soccer. At some point, you're gonna need to refresh. And EPL has the money, but I think it's more so with the COVID stuff and all the COVID really hurt Madrid and Barca because like we make our money from ticket sales primarily, right? We have the biggest stadiums in the world, and it's just like week in week out, we're selling out 100,000 tickets, and that's what it is. It doesn't matter if we're playing Levante or Sevilla or Barca, like we're selling out. So I think EPL right now is in a unique spot because you guys have the external flood, like the TV income and all that stuff. You can attract all these guys. But my bottom line is Spain has never been a market for like British, not even just English, British players, right? But like the majority of the greatest players in the world are not British, and like majority of these dudes, like the Latin guys, don't watch the EPL like that. Like you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
but those guys are now coming into the EPL because of the foreign
because
coaches.
Madrid and Barca can't go for them.
Yeah.
Once we get our fans back in and we have money, we will bring those guys back in, and it will be a wrap. Like it will be a wrap, but I feel like it will be more balanced. Like for sure, EPL is the best league right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna contest that.
But Josh, what non-British player chose the EPL over a non-EPL team? That was
Wait, say that again. Like what British player?
Because you said the non-British players are coming to the EPL now, right? And we talked about how once we get money, once we get open back to stadiums to capacity. Because another thing is that EPL you guys are full capacity stadiums, right? Whereas over in Spain, we're still dealing with COVID, and we're still we just started letting people back into stadiums last weekend. Right. And so I'm wondering, like, because you made that comment, who of quality that was non-British went to the EPL, chose EPL over non-EPL? Like, I don't.
No, just like the players that are coming from, like, you look at obviously United. Well, we just got people who wanted, a fresh start or more money. And then you look at the likes of City. City's been getting some pretty, like, non-English players. I think even Chelsea as well. They got some German players from the German league. All I'm just saying is that we're seeing a huge diversification in the English league, and I think it's also due to the foreign managers in the EPL. Like if you look at majority of the managers now, a lot of them are foreign. No, at least the top teams are foreign. So that's also allowing.
Haven't they always been though? I mean, since
not as much now though. Before
Wenger was not British. Wenger was not British. Did Chelsea ever had a British coach?
No, they never did. Yeah, but I think
like
Rodgers.
But now it's all across the board. I see his point. Rodgers is not British, but he is British.
He is British, yeah. But I'm trying to say he's not on that level though.
But before it was like one thing about the EPL in the past, it was like the England team. Like it needs to be managed by somebody from England, and it needs to be our league, and it needs to be this, that. Like they've opened up to the world a lot more. But I feel like it's still the same. Like the EPL is always going to be able to attract a lot of people because the EPL just makes more money commercially because of the TV rights. Because like 70% of the world speaks English than any other league, right? They're always going to have the commercial appeal. Now, if I had to rank top 5 teams in the world, this is what I'm getting at. It's like right now to me the EPL for the first. I think the last time this happened was I would say when the Mourinho, Ferguson
took over Chelsea, when
the EPL like legitimately were like the best teams in the world.
That's a really good call. That's a really good shout because you're right. I don't think we felt this much buzz with the EPL since the 2012 because that was when the first takeover, right? And no longer just became Arsenal and United. Chelsea came to the picture as well. Yeah, I do recall that. Yeah, you're right. So I think it's like you said, it's in cycles and it's in waves. But I wanted to ask you guys though. I didn't watch the game today, but I know there's mixed reviews with Ancelotti at Real Madrid. What do you think about the performance today, and how are you guys doing in La Liga? Like, how you guys rating your performances so far?
I'm gonna let Kelechi answer this question, but first I just want to touch on.
I was gonna be like, I'm gonna let Jeff answer this question, and then I'll come in.
I just want to say the first comment about Ancelotti. There's mixed reviews about Ancelotti. Not in Madrid, camp. No, there's no mixed reviews at all. If anything, yeah, it's calm. Ancelotti just brings this sense of calm, this sense of you're not going to get these wild decisions being made for lineups or in-game tactics. You know, Zidane was a great manager of egos, great manager of stars. He was charismatic in the locker room. When it came to day in, day out, this game, that game, you question his decision making sometimes, right? More often than not, I was going to say closer to the end of his tenure. But I just want to make that statement. But I honestly, to keep it short, I think Madrid, like Kelechi said, is in a state of transition. We are further on that transition than Barcelona, and you know, a lot of talk. I think if anything, mixed reviews about Perez with all the leaks that happened in the summer. But he has come true, and that's the crazy part about this guy. And we are so further along than Barcelona in the transition, so further along, coach-wise, talent-wise, youth-wise. I was scared. I thought when they had Pedri and they had all these young kids, you know, the last 2 seasons ago and last season coming up, and all of a sudden Koeman comes in and he's just like bringing the Netherlands national team to Barcelona, and it's like, you know, what are you doing? You don't bring players just because you've coached them before and you know how to coach them, right? You had Pjanic and you treated him like he was a third-rate player.
Oh, I just remember that. Oh, that trade was.
Granted, he was not Barcelona type player, which is not on Koeman necessarily. It's more on whoever was making those decisions, Bartomeu at that time. And that's another conversation. You should invite some Barcelona fans. We'd like to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, you and Eve had a good conversation last week.
Yes.
He's a Barcelona fan, Eve?
Yep.
Well, in Spain. But
God.
he's PSG. Sorry, is he PSG? No, he's not PSG.
No. You know what's so funny? Because he's a longtime Barcelona fan who loves Messi, but lives in Paris. So I was like,
yes,
hey,
that's what it is. Yes. So now he's hating PSG. It's all we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago.
He can literally go watch the games, but he's refusing to.
Oh, he's hating PSG, even though
he hates PSG. Yeah,
I think he'll get over it. He'll get over it soon.
But also Neymar, right? Right, Kels?
Yeah,
first Neymar, now Messi. He hates PSG.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you hate PSG? You should hate Barcelona. It's not like they're being robbed. Like, I mean, these are all like voluntary. I don't get it. But good thing I wasn't on that call that day.
well, you know me. I'm not a PSG hater. I just don't think PSG. I just don't get how PSG is getting away with it.
Jeff hates PSG, guys. For those watching this or listening to this, PSG and Tuchel. Those are the two things.
No longer Tuchel. No longer Tuchel, man. Tuchel and I have made my amendments. No, not for now. I'll never talk. Just like I said, I told Kelechi at the beginning of the season, I'm not going to talk smack about Bale. Even when he went down again, I said, hey, what do you expect? I said, I'm not going to talk smack about Bale or Hazard. I'm going to be a lot calmer this season, because I've accepted that soccer is going through a transition and it is migrated. Some people will say home. Rest of the world, which is most people will say it just migrated to England. And to be very honest, I think if anything, I am happiest about Dortmund. To me, they don't get talked about enough how year in and year out, they're consistently up and comers. If they whoever their scout is, mine like Barcelona
really, is that admirable though? Like,
no, it is admirable because for you to continue to see. Go ahead, sorry. Ask your question. Sorry.
It's one thing to be able to consistently come in second. Like it's just like
But
I
you're
don't know
also
that that's
selling your
that.
players to the person that's you're coming second to.
What's the point? Like, what's the long-term goal, right? It's like you just consistently are almost good enough, and then you win like something once every like it's another every 10 years, and you just consistently offload all your talent. Like, yes, your books are balanced, you're this is that, you're this is that, but it just sounds to me like a Arsenal, like 7 years ago for the 10 years before that, 7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Where it's
Arsenal's
like,
only problem is that they're in EPL. They
no,
got 4 or
but
5 other teams.
eventually, like Dortmund, they're doing this now, but like there's going to be another team that's going to be able to come. Like the German league to me is they need to look at that like strategically and strip that back. I want to answer the Madrid question, but the German league to me, like, because it's like Leipzig. It's like you come in. So Leipzig came in second. Leipzig basically was the new Dortmund for last year.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they come in second, and then Bayern just comes in, takes their manager, takes their best 3 players, and Leipzig just can't buy a win now. Like now they have they're getting like a manager is managing in like Europe for the first time. Well, at this level, managing a Champions League squad for the first time, and all this stuff, and it's just like if you're consistently in rebuild, like I don't understand what the overall objective is. To me, the long-term plan is failure, because if you just consistently build, buy and sell, and turn a profit, like that's great. But then you're like a mid-table team. That's a great rap sheet for a mid-table team. We can come back to that in a minute. But the Madrid stuff, yeah, the Ancelotti. I think the one thing that Ancelotti is really good at doing at Madrid. I didn't follow him too much at Everton because I couldn't look at him managing Everton. It was weird.
Man, it's crazy what we were calling for Ancelotti the whole time, man, and then we got coals in our stockings. You know?
Man,
he hasn't coached United, right? Yeah, there you go.
No, they should have got him. But they could have got Tuchel. They could have got Klopp was available when they like Man, you could have got a lot of people. You just got your old boys club, but I mean, we're not going to get into that. You guys run the press, and I feel like that's half of your problem. But that's neither here nor there. The game today and Ancelotti in general, I think it's been decent. I think it's been pretty good, actually. Like the game today was a game of 2 halves. Came out with the wrong formation. He tinkered once it got to the 60th minute. Issue was that Inter overloaded the midfield, and we were trying to play a game where Vinny has had a couple of really good games, and so the team was kind of playing fine Vinny. But it ended up being very separated because the top 3 were just playing in isolation because we just didn't have Cruz out. Again, we're ravaged with injuries. Like Mendy is out on the left, which means you have to play Nacho there instead of playing Nacho in the middle, which means you have to play Militao in the middle. And Militao, I don't know what's going on with him this season, but he needs to relax. But Ancelotti made the change, like the logical change at the 60th minute of just flood in the middle. And then from that point on, we took over the game because the first half we were on the back foot the entire time because we were just getting attacked and we try to counter, and it's all these 1-on-1s, like 3-on-5s basically. And then once he made the changes, we just dominated the game, and then we ended up scoring last minute. But Ancelotti overall, I think the one thing I like about him the most is he manages without emotions so far. I need to see how he treats Benzema. But Ancelotti is like, if you're not producing, you're not going to. He doesn't have favorites, which was
favorites,
favorites in terms of like, oh, I know what you're
Zidane's
capable
issue.
of, even though you haven't produced. Like players, I feel like if Zidane liked you, players would get comfortable, and he would just always revert to his favorites no matter what, and didn't get enough like direction. And I think Ancelotti strays away from that. I still need to see what he does with Benzema because it seems unnatural that a 35-year-old is just gonna like start and finish every game for the entire season. And today he was uniquely bad. He just looked tired, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think that striker role has been an issue for Madrid for a while because Benzema has been great and we've been lucky that he hasn't gotten any long-term injuries, but it just feels like the day's coming and we have no plan
real quickly on Benzema. I think you made a good point that he feels tired.
But maybe that's why the
first time
Mbappe thing, right? I think that's why Mbappe is for sure going to Real Madrid next season.
Yeah,
but they're different. They're different. They play different positions. Like,
but remember, guys, to your point,
Mbappe is for
this is the first time.
Sorry, go ahead.
But this is the first time Benzema has had an international break in how long? Right? This is the first time Benzema had an international break, 5 years? So Ancelotti should see that because he's definitely tired. And two, yeah, like he's 35. Right, like Benzema should realize that I've not had this experience of international soccer and then then league game and then Champions League game where you have to win both, right? And so I agree. Like I can't believe he finished that last game. Like he literally played 85 minutes.
No need.
Why? Take him out at 75th. There was no need. We were destroyed those stats.
We're up like 4-2 at that point. Just take him off. Just take him off. Yeah. Let somebody else play. I guess
Jokic was injured and Mariano is not.
No, we don't want to see Mariano.
No,
but bring anybody else on.
No, the Dominicanos.
No.
Well, Dominicanos, but I think he fancies himself Spanish.
Oh yeah.
He's bad. Mariano is not Madrid quality. He maybe for Leeds or something, but he's not.
Yeah, maybe
Madrid quality.
I don't even know about Leeds, man. Leeds, they got some technical people
earning $120,000 a week. That was a bad contract.
You just really like TFC quality. You should come to
yeah, that's what he looks like. Yeah, MLS.
To be honest, it's like Altidore came to MLS and was just dominating. Yeah. Right? This is the exact same thing. What's his name? Giovinco came to MLS, dominating. Just come to MLS, man.
And he's always injured too, though, isn't he?
He play like 2 games.
He's because he knows he's never going to play, right? So he's always. I don't think he's ever fit. I don't literally physically. I don't think he's ever fit.
Damn. The street's not that big. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, just moving on, guys. But just so far, just with the Champions League, how you guys seen? Obviously, the hype we've finally seen. Are there other teams that we haven't seen yet play, or has every team played yet?
Every team, no. There's next week,
every team's played, right?
No, every team's played. Every team says it's 2 days.
Because I know sometimes they do that whole half the teams play this week.
Yeah, that's later on.
That's later on in the group.
Yeah, that's later on, right? When
knockout stage. Okay. Yeah. What's your thoughts? I know, obviously, for me, I had my 5 favorites, like my 5 top teams in the Champions League, which were, if I recall here. Okay, I brought the wrong paper down. It was
so
obviously.
While after you read them off, I want you to answer this question. Are they still your top 5 after you've seen yesterday's game? You'll see the highlights today after you've seen yesterday's games. Let me know if you think they're still your top 5, but please go ahead.
Okay, so it was obviously PSG, Man City.
In no particular order?
No particular order.
Okay.
I just figured the final 5 were like the 5s that we should look at that could win it. The 5 that could win it. So just based on the summer transfers and just the team in general. So I said PSG, Man City, Bayern, who also did I have Chelsea, obviously. I put Chelsea there, defending champs. And then I put Manchester United. But I did say that that was a different show. I did say this United squad could do damage, but the only reason people are not putting them on there is because of the coach that we do have. So what based on your favorites, do you guys feel like anything has changed so far based on performance, or do you feel it's still too early? And right now, just to answer your question, Jeff, I've taken United. I've crossed out United from that from that equation. Let's just put it.
Have you placed them with anybody else?
I was being, after the.
That's why I had to cut you off, because I'm like, after you saw yesterday's,
I got carried away.
No, but for real though, who's replacing them if you cross them off? Because I don't necessarily disagree with you, but who I don't
I
necessarily
don't
agree with
know.
your list.
Is there even anybody that you can legitimately say can win the Champions League outside of those four right now?
Outside
Like
of those four?
legitimately say, if we all take off our fan goggles off right now,
Nope.
like those have to be the four strong. Maybe Liverpool. I would put Liverpool in there above anybody else, to be honest. If I had to give somebody an outside chance,
injuries.
yeah, if they outside chance, I'd give Liverpool a chance.
I would give you that. Yeah.
Other than that, to me, I'm like, I would love to say Madrid, but
top five, definitely top 10, but not top 5.
Yeah, top 10. Like number 6 for sure is Madrid. Yeah. Like I put Madrid before United, personally.
Yeah, but take off your fan goggles.
I agree with Josh completely. United, I feel like you give. I think I said this in the chat the other day. Like, if United had Tuchel, Klopp,
oh my goodness,
like anybody else, Ancelotti, even if Mourinho had even this United squad now, like you can keep going down the list. Like Nagelsmann, you could get 10 managers.
Yeah, Hansi Flick.
Conte would not be so bad.
Conte is unemployed. Yeah. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I don't. I completely agree. Yeah, it's like one of those. And we know what I'm worried about United. Well, I'm not worried because low-key I'm an Arsenal fan, so I don't necessarily want United being successful. Like I love you, Josh, but you know it is what it is. Low-key, it's this weird thing. This is what Wenger happened to do really well. It's like they end up winning this one random trophy. Like now you got Ronaldo, now you got the squad. You guys end up winning like the FA Cup trophy or maybe. Well, I don't want to say Europa because that's just rude, given that the Champions League just started. But like you end up, I can't see United winning the league.
Looking likely.
Right, but what I'm
sure,
is going to happen is that they're going to win a trophy because the team is just too good not to win something, and then the board focuses too much on this one trophy win from this drought, and then as a result, it becomes Ole is the man big base. This is the whole. Everybody's blaming Arteta now and Emery from Arsenal, but this whole process started to me like a good 11, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
it came with the whole we're banging United, and then it's like, no, actually now we'll always finish above Tottenham, and then when Arsenal was celebrating qualifications for Champions League, and then they won the FA Cup, and we were at the Arsenal pub, and the fans literally went onto the streets, and the cops had to come out and stop. I was that guy at the pub being like, guys, we shouldn't be celebrating an FA Cup win, not this aggressively anyways. We can't be like, the drought is over. I'm like, we are now Everton. We are Everton now. That's what that means. Anyhow, that's I'd say I agree with you in the top 4. But to give an outside chance, I'd give it to Liverpool. I can't see anybody outside of those 5 really winning it. Now, if Ole gets fired by any chance, or if he somehow gets some magic dust, then I think United has the squad to win it up there with the rest. I just don't. I just don't. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he has any plans. Don't know.
Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing is, we kind of hoped the Champions League, as much as it sounds ridiculous. I was kind of thinking the Champions League might be our one shot of winning a trophy this season. Obviously, the FA Cup, I mean like a major trophy, not like a League Cup, or just because this team, I could see them doing well in a tournament, one-off football, everything, all the luck is on your side kind of thing. But in the league, whereby you have teams, you look at the top 8 teams in the league, all have better managers than United. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, you know what? No, but it's true though. If you go down City, Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester City. Leicester City. He's a better manager with that team. Look at what he's doing with that team versus what we're doing with that. We're in relegation football. Smashing.
Arsenal keeps trying to grab Leicester City. They keep trying to grab him. They're like, we should grab that guy. Yeah, we should grab Rodgers. He has a crazy track record.
Yeah, I don't know what's Arsenal waiting for. Well, I don't know. That would be a tough job, though. That would be a tough.
Well, that's
That
the
would be a tough
conversation is
job.
like, would
For
he
Brendan
want that?
Rodgers.
Like they're gonna have to pay him. They're gonna have to pay him a lot. They're gonna have to buy him basically.
Well, that's the thing. So that's the problem with Arsenal, right? That's where people are trying to figure out what's the issue with Arsenal. Obviously, we know the coach is not good enough, but it's one thing to say
What's
bring in a
the
new coach.
issue with Arsenal?
But is the board going to back that coach? That's the question at hand. With Arsenal.
Wow. How much time do you have on here? You know that in the past 5 years, the teams that have spent the most money.
Okay, it's like how they say. Wait, okay, sorry guys. I think I'm breaking up here, so that I feel like sorry. You're saying that Arteta is being backed, so these signings are Arteta's picking. It's not Arsenal saying, "Okay, I think this is a good." It's not Edu saying like this is a good pick.
It's
actually Arteta working with Edu and saying
Edu and Arteta are talking. Yeah. It's they've come out and said.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like all saying Ole signing his players.
What was that, Josh?
I don't know. I just feel like Arteta is in that Ole position whereby they're just so happy to be there that if the board comes and says, this is the player within our budget that we wanted, that we think is going to be a good fit, Arteta is not going to say no because he knows it's going to be out the door the next day.
He's not going to say
so that's
no.
what I feel like it's kind of something with Ole.
You know what the issue, my only bone that I would pick with that point of view is that both of these two teams, Arsenal and Man U, have spent they've spent more money than City in the past 6 years. It's not it's not that they're not spending money. They're just overpaying for the wrong players over and over again. So to me, the issue is the board. Like the board is they pick the managers as well, right? Like, why is Arteta the manager of Arsenal? Like, why would Arsenal think, oh, we're going to give this manager his first job ever, like to come manage Arsenal? What? Because he was Guardiola's assistant? Madrid tried that with Queiroz who was Fergie's assistant with the Galacticos, and after 1 year, they got him out the door.
It was a disaster,
like, go learn your stuff. Like, this is what, a third year with this guy? Like, what is the plan? Everything comes out of the philosophy that's like, we spent $50 million on Ben White. Wait, what are we talking about? We're paying 40-something millions for a backup goalie after selling another backup goalie who just it has to be the same quality. Like, what we have Leno. Like, we don't need to strengthen in the goal. The decisions around the pack are just bad, and it's been the same for so long. It's like we've been sold the dream of the future for so long. Like, first it was the Fabregas, Song, Nadri, Van Persie era, and what happens? Like, you don't win anything. You get close enough, don't win anything, and eventually the big teams, when the players are good enough, the big teams just come in and pry them all out, and you go into the next rebuild. Like, for the past 15 years. It's been a team of the future. Like, where's Walcott? Wilshere is begging for a team right now. Like, what are we doing? What's the plan?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get that passionate, but damn,
No. Kels, please feel free, man, because I get passionate too. Trust me, I get passionate too. Yeah, Arsenal, I don't even know what the situation is, but it's dire. Even as a rival fan, I just know it's not right. Like, that something needs to change within. No, I think I asked that question the last time was, what is Arsenal's target for the season?
Make it into top 4.
No, that can't be a target. That can't be a target.
Wasn't it Champions League last year?
I think the target is probably
right away.
The target has to be like making it into like any, you know how there's that new European tournament that has like 6 and 7 are in that tournament.
Oh, I think it's not playoff for Europa.
There's
a new tournament though. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not the Europa. It's a different.
When's it started? Did it start this season?
I
think it's Tottenham is in it. Yeah, Tottenham is in it.
This season. I think it starts like later on or something. But but it's like 6th and 7th now have some like European spots or something. What? I think that's the spot. Arsenal cannot be aiming for top 4. It just doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That's like
there's no way
they can drive like a Porsche. It just doesn't make any sense.
There's no way Arsenal could be trying to vie for top 4 right now, man. They're in no shape to do that.
Well, if they're not trying to vie for top 4, how are you spending that kind of money? That's what I don't understand. If you're not trying to vie for, top 4, then be like Dortmund and make money. Like, I don't understand how you're spending 50 million, 40 million, 30. You spent the most of the transfer window. Do you know how many free agents there have been in the last 2 years? Not to mention next year coming up. You can't save your money to say, hey, we can pay you. We can pay you even a sign-on bonus. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no thought process. It has to be that they believe in this guy so much that they think that the future is imminent with whatever system they think he adopted through diffusion from Guardiola, because he never coached City.
He did the same thing with Emery.
Where he coached City. Sorry,
they did the same thing with Emery. Like they like it's like.
Well, Emery was what, 1.5 seasons? Like you said,
that's the deal.
And then Arteta has now his 3rd season.
Well, this is his 2.5 because it came in like halfway through.
Remember, Ljungberg took over first for a little bit.
Yeah, and then that didn't work, and then they went to Arteta. The thing is, like they've I feel like Arsenal has reached a point where they have a lot of money, but not a lot of players want to come to Arsenal, so they have to overpay for every player that they go for. Like, there's no other team that's going to pay. None of the top 4 is going for Ben White. First of all, none of them. None of them is paying 50 mil for that. And then they overpay all these people. It's like, but Arteta's choices. I think the one that sticks out to me the most is the Willian choice, and then his wages. It's like
his wages.
If Özil was so bad with his wages, why did you bring in Willian, who is like just worse of a player than Özil, in my opinion?
Oh yeah,
and then pay him Özil's wages and claim that Özil was pointless in the team, and then Willian literally walked out of the team being like, "You can keep the 20 mil. Don't even buy me out. I just want out." It's sad.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I think they need to start. I think Arsenal needs to start from the coach. You guys need to start from the coach, because if you can at least get a coach that is respectable in some shape or form.
Edu, Arteta does not leave without it.
Edu's got to go too. The fact that he made that statement shows that he's got no vision. The fact that he's got no game plan.
Do you know what the worst thing about the Willian situation is to me? The worst thing about the Willian situation is to me is the way they twisted the news. Oh, Willian is so nice, that he gave up his final year, 20 million salary. He gave it up for Arsenal so that they can continue the rebuild. Are you kidding me? That's the craziness. I
want to go play some football and go speak the club right after that.
Man,
I'm not trying to get racial abuse on Twitter every time I play.
That's so true. And then have it carry over onto all the other social media. No, that's so true, man. But like I honestly, man,
William was like, "Yo, talk about that. Let me get some samba in there. I made enough money.
I've made enough money. I'm gonna go to Brazil and spend it." Man, yeah. So, anyways, that's
dire, guys. I don't know what's going on, man. Yeah. So what's your guys' take on Lukaku, man? What's your take on Lukaku? He's officially back in the EPL.
Oh.
Man, I'm going to give him props, man. He's doing his thing. Go ahead.
No, Josh, sorry. Go ahead. Josh, go ahead, please.
No. I was done. I'll say, because you raised your hand. I was done.
Yeah, no, man, Lukaku, it's the epitome of, in my opinion, of like somebody of like, it's very impressive to see growth, like in that actual year-over-year improvements. Like I think the biggest person that I would say you can actually track their growth season over season, and if you just want to cap it in like a short period of time, would be Ronaldo in his sort of in his like last 2.5 years in his first term in Man U, and then the period in Madrid, more so in Madrid when he started to lose his pace, and then he started to convert from a winger to more of a supporting striker, and then now he's a full-blown number 9, right? But I think Lukaku's progress is that same type of trajectory, and it's impressive. And I am like low-key, shouldn't say this, but low-key Chelsea. I'm rooting for Chelsea to win the league, the EPL this season. I'm not a Chelsea fan by any means. I want to make that clear. But I'm just being realistic of the top 4 that I think can win it, which is, City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. I can't see Man United win it because I always want them to lose because I'm, an Arsenal fan at heart. And even though the London rivalry is there, we hate United more than we hate Chelsea, like really. Because Chelsea, we just look at them like, yeah, it's just money. Like, whatever. Now, like Tottenham, I will want them to burn down in every instance, money or no money. That's different. But to me, Lukaku's just, I think he's the most efficient striker currently, honestly. He just, I'm just very happy to see him develop to the way that he's developed. Everything has gotten better. His first touch is better. His finishing is better, right and left foot. His deking has gotten better. Like his decision making is amazing. Like when to run, when to push, when to pull, when to run, when to pull back, when to shoot, when to shove. And then he's always strong, but now he's literally just like a brick.
He's leaner, but leaner but stronger. Yeah.
So I love to see it. I think United should have got Lukaku. They should have gone for Lukaku because the whole time, I don't know if you remember this, but last year it was like, just go get a bona fide number 9, like a number 9.
But the whole thing was Ole did not want Lukaku or something like that.
Right, he's so
good.
Lukaku left under Ole.
Right, they have the
Lukaku left under Ole. So I don't think that story was ever covered on if it was actually Ole that did not want him, or it was just kind of like he just did not feel like, because that was the whole Mourinho time. The club was toxic at that time. So in Ole's defense, I don't think they ever covered who actually, if it was just Lukaku's choice to leave versus Ole saying that he didn't have him in his plans. I don't really see Ole saying that to Lukaku, but also I think he was just the club at that time. He just wanted to get out of that situation, I think.
Yeah, and the way Conte came at Lukaku, like Conte is one of those men. Like he pitched, like I will make you better. It was kind of good that he left. It was like I feel like I just got to give a lot of credit to Conte because the player that he left as and the player that he has become are two different. When Lukaku left, I did not think Lukaku was a world-class striker. I thought it had the potential to be, but I just didn't. The improvements weren't there. And I watched Inter Milan games over the last season, and I started to see him. He couldn't run with the ball before. He couldn't. His first touch was bad. The ball had to bounce before he brought it down. He couldn't even control stuff in the air with the broad chest that he had. And I'm watching an Inter, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's getting over the 2 seasons, it got so much better. And I thought it was just because it was the Italian league, it's a little slower. But then he comes back to England, and he's just literally doing what he did in Inter for the last year in England.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I think you made a great point. I think Italy too was a great way for him to, because the game slowed down, so he was able to, especially having a coach like Conte. He was able to work on the fundamentals versus in the EPL. There's no time to work on the fundamentals because games are back to back. It's just like constant, just running, constant. There's so much intensity, right? So I feel like the Italian league was definitely helped him in that the game was slowed down a bit, and he was able to now learn, become a student of the game versus just trying to play the game, right? I think. So
I don't know if this is a very common EPL fan point of view that the EPL is faster than every other league in the world.
I'm gonna let you finish.
But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not. It's not whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying in terms of the speed of the game, like it's like the Saul thing over the weekend, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna learn the intensity of the EPL and blah blah blah." and it's just a funny argument because it's like it's whenever a player switches and they're not good, but there's lots of players that come from other leagues and kill it immediately. I think the difference in Inter, because I don't think the pace of the EPL is faster than anywhere else necessarily. It depends on who you're playing. Like the Leeds versus Liverpool game, it was like I was almost having a heart attack just like watching it. But that's Leeds and Liverpool. They're both like high intensity teams. I watch some games. I watch like the Wolves or the Tottenhams. Like those games are very slow. I know this is a non-person podcast. I'm not gonna take it there, but they're very slow. But I think the Lukaku progress is more so due to the manager. I think it's like it's what we kept saying about like sort of a Vinicius thing under Zidane, where it's like what this player's like weaknesses are, right? It doesn't matter if you're playing in 4 days. As a manager or as a coach, you should Vinicius. It's like you can beat players all day. We don't need to work on beating players anymore. There's no point, right? It's more so you need to work on your finishing. You need to work on your decision making. Like watch tape and be in this position. Look at this man was open. You don't need to dribble everybody in the field. And I feel like that's the stuff that Conte did with him to me. That because it's like he literally improved skills. Like, and it's not because of the pace. And Ronaldo did the same thing with Fergie in the fast EPL, right? So to me, it's like it's more so about that than the pace of the game.
Yeah, I do agree.
Not everybody goes for it. Not everybody goes to Italy and comes back to England and is like just much better because they have more time or anything like that. That's my point. But I do see what your point.
Remember back in the day, a lot of those remember those Crespo and those guys would come to the EPL, shit the bed, and then they'll go back to Italy and become top goal scorer again. Like your Crespos.
Those are different types of strikers. Like if you're a striker in the EPL, you have to be strong. That's basic, right? But Crespo still did well. He just couldn't make it to the starting lineup because they had Drogba on that team.
Oh yeah, true. They did have Drogba.
Plays with one striker. So everybody forgets the context. But it's like, Crespo is not starting over Drogba. Not even in Italy, he would not start over Drogba. Let's be real.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
No, Crespo was definitely Crespo was a G for sure.
Also, another thing you're forgetting though in that short analysis is that you can't really make that statement because you don't have a counter. You don't have English players going to other leagues because, like we talked about, it doesn't really happen. They just stay there. So you can't really say oh, they go to the Italy, Germany, Spain, and then they kill it. You can't say that. But
you know what? But that's one thing that I think too, and I think the English players are changing a bit. You can kind of see it on the England team how they're becoming. Because remember how back in the day with David Beckham, that era whereby they just look so stagnant. When they face international teams, they have no flair. They have nothing. It's just, So I think it's vice versa, right? You could say if the English players go to Spain, now it's a more tactical game. So all this running like a headless chicken is not going to work. You know what I mean? It's not about what can you do on the ball, not off the ball kind of thing, right? So I think you can kind of have that. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that's the analogy of the coach being important. I think that is solid. That is, and that kind of goes back to my point. Sorry, Jeff, I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
To the Lukaku situation?
Yeah.
I 100% agree with Cal. Lukaku, insane. Yeah. Great purchase.
So I think. Oh, sorry. I think because my internet is cutting up, so I feel like you've done talking, and then it's like.
I know. I noticed. That's why I'm doing it on purpose, man, just to mess with you. I'm just saying, guys. Go ahead. No, we're good.
Yeah. So I think that coaching thing kind of leads to my point of. Sorry, guys. We'll wrap up soon. This has been my cry with United for some time now with Ole. Or even just before Ole, even the Mourinho thing, right? The Mourinho episode is why is it that pretty much every player that has left United has gotten better, right? I know when people can say, oh, the pressure of the club being United, blah, 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 whatever it is. But United has not won anything in 7 years. So this illusion that we're so dominant of a club that people are so scared to play once they
Did
put
you
on that
win a
shirt.
League Cup with Mourinho?
They won Europa, no?
Didn't you win?
Well, the one
did you
year,
win
how long
Europa?
is it? Okay, it's been like what, 5 years now?
Yeah,
It's
5
been
years.
5 years
5
now.
years.
Yeah,
5 years.
it's a
Before
5 years. That's a long
Mourinho-
time. That's a long
before-
time. Man.
I feel like before Mourinho, it was 7 years. Before Mourinho, I feel
Oh,
like.
before Mourinho.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
because you had the Van Gaal, the Moyes, like those
Oh,
guys.
Van Gaal won the FA Cup though.
FA Cup.
Van
That's
Gaal
what
won
it
the
was.
FA Cup.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so you guys
He
are the
got
same
sacked
winner.
the same day. He
Yeah.
won the FA Cup.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like
It
how
was
he
the winner
gets
of
sacked the
the
first
round.
day he wins the FA Cup, but Ole loses the finals and doesn't get sacked. It's like, okay, great. But anyways, it's that whole like at
But he
some
made you
point.
second.
Sorry? But at
he
some
got you
point,
second.
oh my goodness. But at some point, you start realizing that, okay, maybe it's down to the coaching. You know, I know everyone wants to use Mourinho, but you look at, okay, Mourinho is done. Like, let's face it, like we're using his history to just keep recycling Mourinho, but he's done. So that's why for me, I still feel like coaching is very important. And you look at this Manchester United team right now, Sancho was brought out from a very drilled Dortmund team to a chaotic United team, and this kid is looking lost. This kid is looking like, where am I supposed to be here?
Yes.
You know, you look at Donny, the same thing with Donny at Ajax, well-drilled systems. Ronaldo has played with superstars, has played with the best coaches in the world, has come here and now, well, he scored his goals and was doing the swoop, but very soon, those numbers are going to start drying up. I can guarantee you guys that. Those numbers will start drying up. And then you look at who else has come in now. So for me,
well, he almost wrecked Pogba, who didn't come in, but he was there and it's talent. And at some point, like he also started the basic. To your point,
yeah,
on United. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's what for me. I'm in a phase now with the whole situation, and it's just like, I'm just so tired of fans keep blaming. I don't understand how fans can just keep blaming players. They just keep. Can't somebody see that this is not normal? Like this whole situation with United is not normal, but it's wild, man. It's wild. It's wild. So that Lukaku thing just explains, if you put people in the right system with the right coaching, they will produce. You know, and Lukaku has shown that. Now he's with Tuchel, the best coach, one of the best coaches in the world now, and now he's coming to the EPL and he's hit the ground running. But I don't know, man. I'm just at this point, I'm just kind of watching as a fan and just seeing how the season goes as a United fan. I'm just watching to see that. But do you guys actually believe that Ronaldo can change our season?
I think one thing about what you said about, you know, Ronaldo is going to start drying up. I don't think it will start drying with Ronaldo. I think you're just going to keep conceding. I think you're just not going to win. Ronaldo's goals don't really dry up. What happens is the rest of the team just shows that they can't keep up, right? And at least the thing you have at United, which is good, is that you have a lot of young blood who is about to hit their prime in the next 2 to 3 years. You know, you have the Wands, you have Sancho, you have Rashford. Unfortunately, he's still injured. You have Greenwood. You know, just saying, Bruno, who's clearly hitting his prime hard. And then you have a Ronaldo who's been there, done it, seen it all, taught, GOAT, all that. And so now he's bringing everybody along. The issue is going to be what's going to happen when you face the Bayerns, when you face the Tuchels in Chelsea, the Cities, the Liverpools? What's going to happen? What's going to happen is Ronaldo's still going to score, but it's going to end up being like 1-2 or 1-3 or like, 2-4.
Like young boys. He's going to get 35 goals. He's going to get 35 goals because that's what he does.
Right. But how many goals are you going to
But how is he going to do it though? Because
Ronaldo
Ronaldo is a different player now. He needs people to serve him the ball. But when we can't even get out of the half against young boys.
The same other game. And Ronaldo's probably had like 5 shots since he's been at Man U. He's got 3 goals.
Very
Who
efficient.
gave the goals? if they could just get him more balls, you guys will win everything. Which I think is your point. He's going to get his numbers, but I don't know that he makes you guys makes you better for sure. But I don't know that you need a better coach. You need a coach. You need a coach. You need a coach, or you need to get Conte, because then you can just like put that starting 11 on there and have them do whatever they do, or play like
N'Golo Conte, not
N'Golo Conte. Sorry, N'Golo. It's either you get Conte the coach, or you go get N'Golo Conte the player. Your answers are all.
The future is with Conte.
Is it something Conte?
Sorry, Jeff, I think I cut you off. Please go on.
Last thing I'll say about United, and Josh, you said this so many times, and I was just quiet because I just let you rant about your team, like how you let us rant about Real Madrid last season when they were crap in the bed. The whole Fred situation, now he's realized the McFred is not a thing.
Fred, you think Fred so? After this loss, I think he's going to go back to the McFred pivot after this loss.
No chance. You see Ronaldo getting upset at Fred? Ronaldo or something like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, did you see that one screenshot?
I did see that, yeah.
But Fred was actually one of our better players last night, though. He was actually one of our better players last night. Fred, not like he was anything. Well, first of all, nobody did anything yesterday. Let's just put it.
Pay attention to Fred when he's not on the ball. When he's not on the ball, for a pivot midfielder, he's always in the wrong position. Half of the goals are because of him. It's like he's just always in. It's like Ramos on D, where it's half of your goals are just.
But that's such a bad position. All our players, though, all our players are the same. It's just that's why we need a coach. There's no guidance. There's no guidance.
I think there's certain things that I don't think Fred's quality is. I don't think.
I'm not saying that Fred. I'm not saying that Fred is
Fred there. But to your point,
Fred did not do bad for Brazil in the Copa America. He didn't do bad for Brazil in the Copa America.
Don't play.
That's because they don't play him. They have Casemiro and Fabinho beside him.
Yeah, they have Casemiro and Fabinho. Like they're just telling him like, yo, go here, go there. Like,
just run onto your head.
A good example, right? A good example was. I'm not saying that Fred, right? I'm not saying that Fred is Manchester United quality, right? But I think a coach will make majority of our players actually get them to their actual peak. That's what
your team would be better off with a better manager than Ole. Like Ole is not a good manager. We completely agree with you. That's what I was saying. Like it's either you get a better manager, or if you're gonna keep Ole, you plug that hole with just some superb quality player. Because in my opinion, that is the last hole. That is the last problem United needs to solve. You just get a cleanup guy, a good cleanup guy in there. Let Pogba play like that Cruz, Xabi Alonso, deep line playmaker role. What's Pogba doing in a attacking left wing midfield role?
Somebody actually explained that. The reason why Pogba was put in there because Ole wanted to squeeze in an extra midfielder. So he basically, Pogba being on the left was just an illusion. He wasn't actually on the left during the game. He barely even got the ball on the left. So
he played three number sixes? He played three number sixes.
Yes, against young boys. This is the headache with Ole. It doesn't matter if you're playing the worst team in the third division or you're playing Man City. Ole plays.
You just need a new manager, Josh.
Pragmatic.
I don't know what else to tell you. I didn't get the Pogba at the top left, but then hearing that he just played three number sixes.
Because he knows he doesn't want to bench Pogba, so he just basically I need to put Pogba on this team. I also need an extra player.
Why does he have to play Fred? You can just
because he doesn't trust Van der Beek. He doesn't trust Van der Beek.
Oh my God!
Our best midfielder in the first half got taken off because of a red card.
Why does he trust Fred
that can
so
hold
much?
the ball, move the ball around. Sorry, the one player that can hold the ball, move the ball around, you take him out right away. Sancho, another player that can drive with the ball. What do? Take him off. And it's like, okay, why are we going so defensive right away? Like, why so defensive? You have a whole 45 minutes with a team that even if we started the game with 10 men, we should still be beating young boys. Like there's no excuses on that. It
Well, I
happens.
just
Even,
said,
even if you tied
like
the game,
Chelsea,
even if you tied the game, at least fight. At least fight.
as you
Show
said,
something.
like if Chelsea could, if it was Chelsea, right? Chelsea
Yeah,
against
just against
Liverpool
Liverpool.
with
Yeah.
10 men for 45 minutes, and they held their ground.
Man,
It's against Liverpool.
they look more potent in a lot of moments.
Yeah.
So
Not even a
what are
few
we
moments,
talking
a lot
about
of
here,
moments.
guys?
Look even.
No,
No,
you
but
guys. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Because the reason why that happens, right? Because Ole is relying on his starting 11 because these guys have the quality. This is why Saeed calls them our tactic is smash and grab.
Wait, hold on.
Most teams in the EPL, we can. What was it? The first game against Leeds, yeah, we scored what 5 goals, but we're not that great. Southampton played us out the park. Southampton, we tied that game. We scored in the last minute or something and tied the game. Against Wolves, the same thing. They played us out the park. Then we last minute again, Greenwood strikes and we score a goal. And that's it. And this is repetition. This is it because we have a good enough squad that we can beat most teams in the EPL. So we don't have a structure. We don't have a plan. We don't have a system. This is why when any little thing happens, any little change in plan, whether it's Bruno is not performing, Pogba is not performing, any little slight change in plan, we look dead in water.
You were exactly Madrid last year. Like this is Madrid under Zidane. It's like one injury and it's a wrap. And the whole time we're like, yo, you can do this, that. You can do so much, but it's just like, yeah, this is my whole thing. Like it's emotional coaching. They come in there, makes the first 11 feel good. They go out there, they're playing for the manager, and then one person goes down, and then it's literally a wrap.
Who was that CM that I don't know, I think he's Serbian, who followed around Mourinho. Mourinho brought him to Chelsea, then he went to United, and then he just came back from injury.
Matic.
Did he play?
He came on with Martial.
Why didn't he? Why didn't he start
something.
Matic over Fred if he wants to play Pogba so hard? Because Matic was playing your other 2 games when you guys were actually doing something.
Just rest Pogba.
Because the thing with Ole right now,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, rest Pogba. It's young boys.
They played well together in preseason.
Yeah.
Rest Pogba. I have no problem. Rest Pogba.
It's young boys, and then just like Benzema, he played in the international last week, the week before, and he played every game.
He's going to play most of the games over the rest of the season anyway. Rest him now. Like, rest him today. Keep him on the bench. Bring him on. Play Matic and Van de Beek, right?
Yes.
Van de Beek plays the Pogba role.
Yeah.
Matic plays the Fred role. But, like, the whole – and then you have you guys have so many wingers. Just keeps throwing me – when I saw Pogba on the left, I, like, literally switched to a different game. Because I was like, I can't – this is infuriating. Like, why is he there? What is he supposed to be doing there? Like, I don't – there's like Martial on the bench, Lingard on the bench. Oh, just Rashford is still on the operation table, like about to come in. Like, is he going to play Pogba at the left wing when Rashford, Martial, Lingard are all there?
So this is it. This is why Ole needs to go because Ole has his favorites and he's going to shoot on them because obviously you can't say no to Ronaldo, right?
No,
you can't say no to Ronaldo. You can't say no to Bruno. Sorry.
He said Ole's gonna get his 1 trophy, and then the board won't be able to say no to him.
The only way he's going is if you guys are like 6th in the EPL by like in the next I guess 2.5 months or something by Christmas. But you're not going to be. You're going to do well in the EPL, and then you're just going to struggle in everything outside. But you're not going to win the EPL, which is
we're definitely not. But this is why I had a fan yesterday tell me this was like in our group chat. This is the United way. We don't need systems. We don't need tactics. We just have our best player play. And if you want systems and tactics, go be a City fan. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. This is what United fans. Some United fans.
No, but it's just
this is the logic, and this is people that have been watching United before I was born. These are the fans that just want to just get drunk and scream and shout.
It's just some. You have to like the Arsenal. I don't know if you remember to me back in the day when everybody was on the wing. This is like 2000 and what year was that? 2000 and like 2008, with this whole Wenger stuff. And I was like literally explaining it to him, like, "Yo, this is what's going to happen, right? Like, we can't keep like coming in second best because eventually we will lose our best players. And in the long term, when this continues, we need to get rid of Wenger now because in the long term, I don't think Ole's going to stay at United like for as long as Wenger stayed at thing. So I think like if it's not that season, it's next season, he's gone. And the benefit with United is like you have enough money. You've gone through BS managers now. I feel like the next time they're just going to go the Chelsea route where they're going to be like, we're going to get the best manager available, and that's a wrap. And so I feel like United will be back. I know it sucks right now, but it's not like there's always this types of people. And unfortunately in the world today, it's like the more ridiculous you are, the louder your platform is. But it's just like Wenger, where it was like just season after season, we were just scraping the barrel. I'm like, there's going to come a point where we're not going to be able to attract a top name player anymore. We're not going to be able to make the Champions League. Tottenham's going to end up above us, and like it's going to be too late at that point. And that's where we are now. And these fans are even still till now. You think the United fans are irritating? This is the Arsenal chat groups. Like, no, Arteta just needs more time. Like Ben White's a better purchase than Varane. I was like, what are we talking about?
You know what?
Are we talking soccer?
Like, are we talking about something else?
Like, I'm just like, I think United fans and Arsenal fans are part of a huge problem of the club. The United fans, like especially like the faithfuls, right? The ones that I think United fans and Arsenal fans are part of the club's problem. You know, because
you know what, Josh?
Mediocrity.
I don't agree. I don't agree 100%. I do agree with what you guys are saying, but not 100%. I think majority of the blame goes to the media, and it's the fact that you guys have EPL has all that money also is now hurting you guys, right? Because no matter what, you'll always be able to pull in players and give them big salaries. No matter what, you'll always have the ability to attract players because you're going to broadcast and all that, right? And it's also English. America is also English. There's that like America is literally the marketing guru of the world, right? And I think that aspect of EPL that's like a bit. It's like a bittersweet, right? You'll always be relevant. You'll always be able to pay money. You'll always be able to give the biggest contracts and pay and get the biggest names. Problem is when you guys aren't performing, you're still making money. Arsenal, and I think it's not really the fans. I think the fans respond to the media. The moment the media like Ian Wright. Guy goes off every Arsenal game. The guy looks like he's about to just
it looks like
his Arsenal fandom for life and just never ever pay attention to Arsenal ever again. We need more of that. Just like you guys, and Clutchy made a point. It's like the media of United. Think about it: Carragher, Neville, right? You have all these guys in Sky Sport.
No, the media United literally all played with Ole. Like they're literally his friends. Like literally. So it's like it's a weird, and there's so many of them, and they are like literally the top line. Carragher is from Liverpool, but he will even be
not Carragher. Apologies.
But the rest of them, Neville is who you're talking about. Yeah,
Carragher, sorry, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah, I know Carragher.
They're always on together. Neville and Carragher are like Batsy and Bench.
And Owen played both Liverpool and thing, but he's a little bit more leveled, right? Like it's and the media, like I keep saying this, but like the media needs to. Like, how are you going to say that? How are you going to praise? How are you going to act like Willian left on his own? How are you not going to talk about how Özil left?
How do you get Ronaldo? How do you get Ronaldo on this United squad? Just 1 point to what you're saying. How do you add Ronaldo on this United squad? If you read this squad on paper, and then Gary Neville sits there and says, I don't think this makes us like title contenders. I think there's still a little bit more we need to add. What? You got Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane in one summer. And like,
you already have
that quite gets us there.
You've got Bruno, you've got Pogba, you've got Beak, you've got Martial. Like these are players that will start.
You got Maguire, the captain of England. You got Maguire. He is the captain, right?
Yeah, he is. No, Kane.
Is he captain? Yeah, he's captain. Yeah.
Kane.
You've got Luke Shaw, who is considered the best left back in the world right now, which I disagree with, but that's for
left
different
back
conversation.
in England. Let's
In
be,
England.
let's be very
Yeah, I was
clear.
gonna say,
Okay?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a whole different
And
conversation.
that's
for another
only
day,
and that's
man.
only because Robertson is dropped off.
If I were left, I'll play
And
Tellers
Mendy
over
is
him. But Tellers is
currently
injured
injured.
anyways.
Let's
Mendy
Yeah.
is not
very
injured.
clear.
Mendy is going to jail.
No.
Sorry?
Mendy on Madrid. Not
Oh,
Mendy
sorry, in the world.
City.
I was looking at EPL. I was talking about
Oh,
What are you
man,
talking about?
I was like, I got worried for a second. I'm like,
He's like,
Oh, not the Mendy from City. Oh no, not the Mendy from City.
Coach is like, both of them?
Mendy from-
Oh man, no. But honestly, I that's all I wanted. I agree with the fans, but a part of it, the fans are listening to podcasts. They're listening to Monday Night Football. Listen to Sky Sports.
Don't
Listen to
forget
all
Donald
these
Trump
guys.
is president of the United States. Like it's like this. Like the majority of the world is not like logic and facts are not. And I'm not trying to throw shit at anybody. I'm just saying that like it's an open world. To Jeff's point, there's a lot of stuff out there. And the thing called confirmation bias is like, if you want to look one way, the algorithms will just keep providing more and more of that stuff to you. So for somebody to come out and say, this is the United way, we just play, we win when our best players play well, it's like, okay, but that's not what team has been successful that way? Like ever.
Yeah.
What team
That's not
has
even in
dominated?
sports. Not even in sports. Over in business, how do you have no plan? You have no system.
How do you have no
It's
strategy?
you could have the best. You could be a sales company. Have the best sales reps. If you don't have the best sales coach, those sales reps are not going to go far. So how do you
don't have a
expect?
sales plan? If you're just coming out here and be like, Josh, just do what you do. Jeff, let's go get it. All right.
Let's go, guys. Monday morning coffee.
Can you imagine? I would love it. I would love my directors were saying that. That'd be so easy, man. I'd be looking at them like, you're gonna give me this salary to just go get it? Say less, fam. Say less, fam.
Go get it.
Yeah, people are defending. Oh, Ole can't plan for a red card. What do you mean Ole can't plan for a red card? This is 2021. People get red cards in games. You got to plan for the what if moments.
Oh my god!
But anyways, guys, sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's the fandom. It's like this was the Zidane in the first term, where it was like when the legends that you supported, the people that got you hooked in the club, when they come back to then these positions, fans have it. The first time around, I'm telling you, like when they were like, "Oh, Zidane's the new coach," I was nervous, man. I was like, I hope I don't end up hating him as a result.
Kels was nervous for a minute. I remember.
And then it ended badly at the end. I mean, like, Jeff was the calm one when we were watching Madrid game. I was getting irritated. And every time we played Barcelona or Atleti, then he like whoops out this magical genius. And I'm like, what? Why? Then next week we're playing the whole thing. Like, I'm going to change the whole system for no reason. It's just like one of those moments. And then, and then at the end, though, when it will, what I will say though is eventually, the tide just takes longer to turn when it's these types of people. Like, quite frankly, I thought Mourinho was given a short deal at United because I thought the fans already hated him when he went in, and then they were just waiting for his first mistake, and then they just started piling on. I don't think that he was the greatest player the greatest manager that United could have gotten, but I think that if he had this squad, I'm just going back to him. If he had this squad, I feel like he would have done. He won the Europa with the squad that you guys had at the time, which was way worse. There was no Maguire. Stones was your starting center back at the time. Like it was, your squad was a joke. All you have was Lukaku and Pogba.
What's his name? Brown? No, Chris Smallings. Yeah,
Smalling.
Yeah.
It was Smalling and Stones. No, like the part. Oh, no, Smalling and Bailly. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Bailly or Phil Jones or something.
I said Stones. I was trying to say Phil Jones. That's who I was.
Yeah, Jones. Yeah.
Jones and Bailly, and then.
But it's just one of those things. Eventually, though, it's one of two things. Either you win a trophy and everything will be fine for a little bit, or, which I think is probably the better case scenario, is that you don't win a trophy and the board has to like pull a Chelsea and go and just get, or a Liverpool, and go and just get like, just go get somebody who is going to actually deliver. None of this
I don't get me
emotional
wrong. As a
picks.
fan, like obviously, if we win a trophy, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
But
of
low
course.
key,
Of course.
I won't be
You don't
sad
think
if
we
we don't
enjoyed
win a
the three
trophy either.
Champions Leagues? You don't think we enjoyed the
Sure.
3 Champions Leagues when Zidane was winning them, even though we knew that it was just our squad winning it? You don't think we enjoyed those?
every Champions League game.
You still celebrate, but at
Every
the same
Champions League game,
time,
man's are looking at the clock at the end, like, yo, man, time's running out on this squad in Zidane, fam. Every season, you know, no transfer. Oh man, we're
No
screwed.
transfer. Just
We
3
win
years
Champions
in a
League
row.
again.
No transfer.
No
Like,
transfer. Oh,
we
we're
can't keep this up
screwed.
much longer.
Zidane leaves, comes back. Oh, we're screwed. We're screwed. The clock.
at least you guys won the league in
is
Zidane's first
over.
season, though. At least you guys won the league again, like when he returned.
His
At
first
least you guys have
full
won
season,
something
full
with
season.
Zidane.
We won a lot.
Like Ole
We won a lot with
I just
Zidane.
can't see what he's doing, man. Like,
But again, Zidane had Ronaldo in his prime.
But
He had Bill in his
that was
prime.
our
He had
squad. That was
Benzema
the
in his
squad.
prime.
Like any Ole would win something
Yes.
with that Madrid squad. To be
So
fair,
Moyes would win something, not Champions League, something
not Champions
with
League,
that
something.
squad.
The squad was ridiculous. We had Morata, like not old Morata, not new Morata,
Not anymore.
coming off the bench. We had old Esco coming off the bench. Like all these guys. Like what was the Hernandez? What's the PSG right back? Like literally, like our
Hakimi,
bench.
yeah.
Hakimi,
Yeah.
like just
Our bench
these
is
were-
now like
these were our backups.
Yeah, Reguilon was trying to fight in to get into from Castillo, get called
the
up.
first team, and yeah.
Varane was not on the starting line
Yeah,
at
Pepe
that
was
point.
the starter,
Like, it was ridiculous. That squad was crazy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Pepe was. Pepe was like in the first Champions Leagues or so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we brought in Xabi
Yeah.
Alonso. We had people, man. We just couldn't get James. How we even get him on James?
James and Higuain at the same time during their peak. But it was just it
Oh,
didn't matter who
goodness.
was playing. It didn't matter who was playing. It was just like, yo,
Angel Di Maria.
Di Maria.
Yeah. But at least
Keep going.
Zidane used the squad, though. At least Zidane used the squad. Jeez.
Yeah.
At least
that's what we said.
when you saw
Zidane's
Real
a
Madrid
good
on
manager
paper,
of men.
it looked like what it was on the field, right?
That's
So-
Closer to the end of his tenure, it didn't.
It did.
Because
Yeah,
the clock had run out and he didn't know what to do.
That Liverpool Champions League win, like we went in and we're like, because the one we were most confident of, I think, was
the one before, right?
the Juve one, because everybody was.
Oh my god!
Everybody was like, Juve were favorites. Like I should have bet money because the Juve were right because they hadn't conceded any. They only conceded 2 goals the entire Champions League, and they're like, oh, Madrid takes goals. Like, but we score like that season. We were scoring like an average of 4 goals a game, literally an average of 4 goals a game. Like it was just like it doesn't matter if they don't take goals. Like they haven't played us all season. And everybody was like, "No, Juve they're gonna beat Madrid." Blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there like, we have to have a whole conversation, Jeff and I. We're like, "Yo, are we just fanboying or like
fanboying?"
He's like, "No, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna smack them. Like it's not even gonna be close." So like, that's how I'm feeling. The Liverpool one, we went in there like, yo, she said a prayer before this one. Like, this was the end of that.
Yeah,
of that whole.
And Liverpool was on their way up.
We was on the way up. We had 3 years. We literally had the same squad from 3 years before. We're like, ooh, it's gonna be tough. Won that one. Zidane leaves immediately afterwards. Like,
He's sneaky.
He knew what he was doing, man. And then Ronaldo left too. He's like, okay, everybody knew what was going on here. Everybody knew what was going on.
I don't want us to make tough decisions.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, it's been fun. I know we always stay over time, but we don't do it too often. So yeah, it's definitely been fun, but we just got to keep our heads up. I guess it's still a new season.
It's been exciting.
Positive.
It's been exciting, and I think it's going to continue to be exciting. We're
Yeah,
January is going to be very interesting. But again, I think if I can just say this last thing, I think the issue for me with anybody other than Chelsea winning the EPL or Champions League is Pep Guardiola is stuck in his ways. Just 8 midfield players, 3 defenders, and then go play soccer. Liverpool not as deep as they were 2, 3, 4 years ago. United, we beat that to dust, really. PSG, I mean, we know. It says on the bottom, PSG held off by Club Brugge. Again, they're too new to click in the first season. Even Mbappe and Neymar didn't click for a
could
couple
pull
of
it
years.
off, though. But
I think they will eventually, yeah.
I think they'll figure it out. But you can go on, sorry.
Yeah. Their attack will, but I don't think they're. I just think they're gonna get drummed on goals.
It's so ironic because, like, we have, as a Madrid fan, Jeff, we would never. What? We have one season where we had solid D. Like every other time, we just outscore teams. So it's very ironic to hear.
But we had fullbacks and a midfield that was banging as well as the front three. Same thing with Barcelona when they were killing. They had a
midfield is banging. They just don't have a holding defensive midfielder.
No, right? But who else besides Gini? Verratti and Gini.
Verratti, Gini, and Di Maria. Like I don't understand what the problem is.
Verratti's always injured though.
You know. Besides that, but you know the problem with Di Maria, they play him as a winger. He's not as a midfielder.
Not when Messi is there. Not with Messi and Neymar. They can't play as a. What they can play 4-2-4? That's not possible. Not outside of FIFA.
He's coming off his bench. But anyways, I digress. And that's why I and that's why I'm so adamant to make sure that I make it clear that I apologize about the crap talking I was talking about with Tuchel.
So you think Chelsea is favorites for Champions League?
I think Chelsea and Bayern in the finals. Yeah.
Chelsea and Bayern in the finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if PSG meets Bayern,
not City, not City.
No, I think if Bayern or City, I think if Bayern or Chelsea, if City or PSG meet Bayern or Chelsea going into the finals, they won't make it. But if PSG or City do not meet any of those other two, they will make it through. That's honestly what I believe. There's nobody else. Liverpool will do what they do, but I don't think they can make it past the Bayern. I don't think they can make it past a Chelsea who will be in form. Again, guys, Chelsea's not in form. Conte's been injured, right? Chelsea's not in form. James was just starting to get into the team at the end of last season. Then he got a red. Right? Like
it's
Chelsea is not fully
I feel like Jeff and I on Tuchel are going like this way, right? It's like I was like very impressed early, and then now I'm like, he's like a very great defensive coach. I don't know what he's trying to do going forward, but I see your point. I would say I just don't think Chelsea can do a double. I think Liverpool has I think Liverpool has a higher chance of winning the Champions League. Liverpool and City, I'd say, have a higher chance of winning it from my perspective. But I think Bayern are the overall. I think Bayern are just the best team in the world right now.
They just
just ridiculous.
But the only thing might be their coach though is Nagelsmann is he has experience. That could be the downside if he faces like a City in the semis. That's where it becomes a tactical thing, and that's why I feel like Nagelsmann might not have that.
And that's where I differ. I don't see that only because I see that Bayern. I can see that City. Bayern is a team. Like those guys, they've been playing together for so long. They've won Champions League together. Like they should have had a double last year. But obviously, things happen. But they had injuries as well going into the semifinals. But I honestly think that if City was to meet Bayern, I think Nagelsmann tactically won't tweak. He will play what has been working, what works. The other guy will tweak. Tuchel, he won't tweak. He'll play what's been working unless there's an injury. And it's like how you talk about how Ole doesn't know how to prepare for a red card. Tuchel, Nagelsmann, those mofos know how to plan for a red card. Klopp as well. Problem again with Liverpool, they're not deep enough. They get that one more injury. They just lost their starting light in Harvey Elliott. They lost their starting light in Harvey Elliott. His ability to play Salah on the right and Arnold, it was seamless. They're not deep enough. Right, and so this is my only issue with City. This is my only issue with Liverpool.
But Liverpool has Hendo, though. Liverpool has Hendo.
Oh, I keep forgetting about the goal. I keep forgetting about the GOAT. Excuse me.
Well, Elliot's injured now too, so I don't know.
Oh, is he injured?
Does that change your plans now?
Hendo's
Elliot's
injured?
injured. Yeah, he got a bad injury.
Oh, Elliot.
No,
That's what I'm
he's saying
saying.
Elliot.
No, that's my point. I'm saying they're not deep enough, and they're
Oh.
up and coming starring shining light for this season. He's injured. City's up and coming starting light for this season was Foden, and he was injured. Now he came back today, and we all saw what happened 6-3 against whoever they were. But again, and it's weird. Pep loses to teams like Lyon. You know, Pep. I can see Pep losing to a Club Brugge. You know, it's very weird in the Champions League. It's 11 men against 11 men. Anything can happen. But again, it's about form and the coach's ability to understand that and tweak things without changing what has been working. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and I think and that's why for me I was surprised with Kel's talking about Liverpool, because I think they're very good first team, but the squad depth is just not there. I just feel like with such a long season, they might just fumble. But here's Tim. Actually, Tim is actually he runs the Manchester United the Niagara Manchester United fan club. Tim says here, Mourinho brought in Lindelof and Sanchez, alienated. Oh, geez, I can't. How do you say?
Yeah, alienated Luke Shaw.
Alienated Luke Shaw and almost froze out Pogba. He left the squad in worse shape than when he started, which is a great point. And that's why when Kels was talking about Mourinho initially, I think that's why Mourinho just had to go, because Mourinho was not backed. Yes, he wasn't backed, but he started taking it out on the players, and that just became a whole total mess. So that's why I do agree with Mourinho had to leave at the time that he did, because he wasn't just fighting the board, he was fighting the players as well, that's a no-no. And I think that's what Ole has done well, is even though he's not a proper coach, the one thing he's done is he's kept the players happy, at least the ones that
Mourinho, I think, fights the media more than his players. He alienated Pogba because everybody else was, and he wanted
Shaw as well too.
Luke Shaw was like Lukaku and Ole. Sorry,
if I could just clarify, what I actually said was Mourinho would do better with this squad. The squad that he had was not. Mourinho coached Madrid, so I know Mourinho's good sides and I know his bad sides, right? I know his rash sides. So I don't need to get sort of a rap sheet of everything he did. But all I know is with Mourinho, if you give him a decent squad, he will provide you results. That's what I know about Mourinho. Look at what he's doing in Roma right now. They're unbeaten. They've got the most goals in the first 4 games in the entire history as a club. You give him a decent squad, he will give you good results. If he's in a bad situation, like in the second time in Chelsea, where it's just not going to work like this, it's just he can't get the players that he wants in for whatever reason, and then he gets into this panic mode. It's like how he left Madrid. He left Madrid fighting Ronaldo. In the last Ronaldo. He was fighting Ronaldo at the end of his tenure in Madrid. So I know he has personality concerns, but you get Mourinho in 2 years, give him a good squad, he will give you results. He's done this everywhere that he's had a good squad versus where he hasn't, is what I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, I'm not saying he's a great man manager. That's not his. Yeah. Unless you're Zlatan, unless you're like a certain type of person, you're going to not like Mourinho, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, but anyways, guys, I guess we should just leave it at that point. I don't know. We're just going to be talking here 5 hours later. We're still
till tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Obviously, EPL is back this weekend. Some exciting games. Let's, for those of us that had, kudos to those of you that won your Champions League games. And for those of us that lost it, we just have to look forward to the next one and just hope that we do. I just hope that we come back with a smile next time. But guys, it's definitely been fun. I really appreciate those of you that tuned in. It's definitely been amazing. I know it's been a long show, but some of you actually stay tuned in for the whole show, which I'm surprised, but I really appreciate it. But yeah, guys, till next time, take care.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Cheers.